let's see here. Let's start with, so I'm consulting my notes. I told you I had so many. Here's some questions. When you are closing your eyes and moving into flow, and you're starting to generate the emotional connection, the sensation, the feeling, many of you have experienced my MP3s, and you notice, sometimes she tells me to look at this. Sometimes she tells me I'm in a flowing river of light. Sometimes I'm under a universe of stars. Sometimes I'm a bird in the sky. Why does she keep changing it? How come she doesn't stay with the same one? Is there a purpose? Do specific images work better for specific things I'm trying to create? My answer is, I do all kinds of things to get you into flow and to start getting you to see it and sense it, because I don't exactly know what your perfect, ideal, flowing place, quote unquote, looks like. So I give you a lot of different places to try out. Some are going to work better for you than others. So my question is, if you could pretend that you could see the inner working of the universe, what would it look like to you? Inner working of the universe. That could mean behind the scenes of physical reality, inside a matrix or a net of information that holds everything together. Feeling again that there is a flow to it. It is not stopped and frozen. It is moving, because the universe, just like you, is creating every second. So whatever you see probably has an aspect of motion to it, right? What would you see? Here's another way of asking that question that might resonate with you more. If you pretended that you could be inside God's kitchen or workshop, where everything is in a continuous act of creation, being born every moment, how would that appear to you? How would it appear to you? Okay? That's different than what would it look like. I don't want you to think, what would it look like? That puts a lot of pressure on you. You're already saying, well, I have to get it right. No. How would you want it to appear to you? How would you want that place to make sense to you? What would you want to see? Some of you are thinking, well, I'd want to feel like I was in the kitchen of my mom's house, where everything was possible when I was a kid. Some of you are thinking, I want to be laying under a blanket of stars, like, warm velvet flowing over me, where Source and me and everything was constantly making up new ideas infused with this kind of excitement, continuous excitement. I don't know. You have to answer that. Here's another way to ask that question. If you pretended that you were in a place made of pure, moving information or energy, and it could appear any way you wanted it to, how would it make the most sense for you to see it or be in it? How would it make the most sense? Okay, so now you're starting to see my thinking behind why I've created all these different scenarios in my MP3s and the flow dreams I've made for you. Because all of these different ways have made sense to me. To be in this place of motion, creation, information, and to be squarely in it, not on the outside looking in, but part of it, moving with it, aligned to it. Okay, this brings us to the next point. Once you're starting to get an idea of how it can look to you, let me answer one more question I commonly get. No, it does not have to look the same way every time. Probably won't. In fact, if it did, I would be surprised. Some people do create, places. There are particular places in my flow that I like to go to for certain purposes. I call one of them my heart room. Sometimes my clients encounter their heart room. And it's a place where my heart keeps emotions that need to be worked through or have been locked up. And I see it as a place of continuous creation. I know that if I'm keeping emotions and feelings locked up there, I am actively keeping them created all the time because I am a being in flow. And I can actively release them at any time. I like to lay under the stars, like I've mentioned. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a matrix of swirling lights and colors, strands of energy. I feel like I can just walk through it and pull down the strands that make sense and then just weave them into some feeling that I'm looking for, some emotional outcome that I'm trying to create in my life. And by the way, this is advanced, but all your emotional outcomes are attached to things at some point because you are a physical being. So, I work in reverse of a lot of people. I say, don't manifest things. How silly. If you manifest things, you're going to find yourself in that little hamster wheel of then trying to manifest the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And you're going to say, how come I keep manifesting things and they're not fulfilling me? And I'll say, because you're manifesting things. You're not manifesting emotional fulfillment. Manifest emotional fulfillment in this area, and the right things that are attached to it will be dutifully chugging along with it. Okay. Let's think now about that sensation I've been talking a lot about, flow. Right? There's a feeling of movement in there, isn't it? Movement. If you are in an act of continuously creating and being recreated, and if things are funneling into your life, I often use the metaphor or analogy that we are like a river. Don't be confused with water, okay? No fear of water coming into this discussion. You are a river of energy, okay? Everything around you is also a river of energy or a stream, whatever you want to look at it like. Okay? Even the podcast you're listening to. I mean, clearly it is a physical stream of audio information that is hitting your eardrums 1 second after the next. However, the computer or the phone or the car, whatever you're listening to this on, is also a stream of information. It looks solid, but it's a flow.